PKN, episode 177. I'm having a bad hair day.
Oh.
And no one can tell.
Yeah,
It's okay.
I hope you're mostly audio audience. You don't know.
So, Kyle, you were just explaining the first thing that you dislike about the new place, not having your mattress there. Has anything else sifted in that you're like, oh, I didn't anticipate this about city living after being in a rural area for so long? Or is it still 2 thumbs up?
No, it's 2 thumbs up for sure. It's just my mattress. Like I woke up yesterday morning in pain, and I woke up this morning with like lower back pain, and it was like really bad. So much so that I was just like tossing and turning, and then I laid on the floor for a while, hoping that would fix it. And I've just been taking it was really painful, my lower back. And I hurt my lower back when I was like 13 on a diving board, and if I sit in I remember if I sit in a position where like my knees are much higher than like my butt. So like if I'm in like the back seat of a truck in like a shitty like bench seat where like your knees are higher than your like butt, or in like stadium seating. Like I remember the gym in my middle school had that sort of thing where it gets really painful. But most of the time, like 99% of my life, like it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt at all.
Have you ever gone to like a chiropractor for it?
I've been to a chiropractor, but he's not a real doctor. He's
they're
just
quacks.
He's just cracking stuff in your back. And I don't know about I think a lot of them are quacks. I think some of them actually do you some good, but I don't think I probably have like.
You know what you'll never hear from a chiropractor? You're cured.
Or we need
You'll
to
hear
operate.
That from doctors all the time. Yeah, from a chiropractor, it's like, I don't know, like you're still gonna be, in a bit of pain next week. It's like, oh well, you're the boss. Like they got to keep you coming back.
Yeah, absolutely. They want you to come back for like monthly readjustments, right? So I probably have something wrong in my lower back that could be fixed with a surgery or something like that. But it's not debilitating or anything. And yet this mattress,
you're laying on your back, hoping to like relieve the pain. That's pretty debilitating.
Yeah.
So I went on the floor and trying to find some relief, some escape.
Well, I was thinking, like people lie on the floor, like on a hard surface sometimes when they have back issues, and maybe that would do the trick. But it's just terrible. And there's like 3 beds in this place, right? Kitty got the master bed, and it is like I touched it, and I'm like, oh my god, this is a wonderful bed. Like, what the fuck? And then my bed is definitely like 3 tiers down from that. So it's one of those beds that when you're in it and you like move a little, like the whole thing like shakes around and stuff. Like I had.
I'm not suggesting that you sleep with Kitty, only that you sleep with Kitty.
Yeah, right.
Right.
And
I had like when you said moving and the whole thing moves. This like when you watch those commercials and they put like a wine glass on the bed and they're like, now look at this fucker jumping up and down. It's not going anywhere. Like that happened literally this past weekend. I had a girl in my bed with me, and she was drinking out of a can of a LaCroix can, like some water. And as we were laying down, and she was like reaching over to like put it on the bedside table, but I have a king size bed and there's plenty of room. And I'm like, no, just put it on the mattress. You can move as much as you want. That's not going to fall over. This is a Casper mattress.
This mattress is the opposite of that. Like I was having sex on that bed I was having sex on that bed a couple days ago, and the whole thing is moving around and it's squeaking and making noise. It's like in a Western when they're having sex like upstairs and everybody down in the bar room is like looking up at the ceiling and like dust is falling from the ceiling. You hear ka-kong, 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 ka-kong. It's like that. And of course, there's a 3rd bedroom here, and that mattress is shit tier. Like they just threw that mattress in to like claim that they're a 3-bedroom. There's no way I can go in there and get on that thing. So, I'm hoping
that's something that you didn't ever realize during sex could be better is like the mattress noise, because of course usually most people have the spring, and you just get accustomed to like even like getting up in the middle of the night, on a spring mattress, like there's like a little like noise like that, and especially fucking. But these Casper mattresses, no noise at all. Any of the foam kind of mattress, it really is the way of the future. And I don't get the big complaint I see about them is like, oh, I just get so hot. I get so hot sleeping on them. It's like I don't get that either.
No.
Like I'm no hotter than I am on a pillow top mattress.
Yeah, same. I love my Casper mattress.
Pillow top mattresses are kind of cozy sometimes.
They're fucking expensive.
Yeah.
Like if you want a nice one, like a nice king size mattress, it's probably like $3,000 or something.
I was gonna say 4. Yeah, I saw one for $4,000. They're really expensive.
Oh, I finally picked out a TV to get, but I wasn't. I was like ready at the store yesterday to buy it, and I was like looking at, like I was about to go get the attendant and be like, I want this one, and then I was looking at the box and like looking at the dimensions, and I'm like, this is not gonna fit in my car. There's a 0% chance this will fit in my car, and so I had to go ask the guy. What do you drive again?
An Impala?
A Chrysler 300C. So it's very big for a sedan, but not big enough to fit a 65-inch Samsung 4K.
You need a pickup.
And I literally sent that out in a group text today to my friends. I'm like, hey, any of you pickup fellas want to help me out this weekend getting my TV back home? And, of course, someone said yes. But, yeah, I'm very excited about it. Like, I really underestimated how big that TV is going to fucking be. Because I have, like, a 50-inch TV right now, and it's pretty big from the distance I'm sitting. Like it's always been good enough for me. But this thing, like I was imagining it last night, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's gonna be like theater seating in these things. It's gonna, I'm excited for it. I didn't get the curved one because I looked up online and Kyle, your recommendation, because I have another couch and some seating over here, like a recliner and a couch, and they wouldn't be able to see it, or if they did, it would have that warped, like not quite. Is that the way that those curved TVs work? Because if it is, that seems like a bad idea.
They have a focal point, right? That you need to be in the center of that focal point. Otherwise, you can see the curve, and it's kind of off-putting. Like I've got my curved monitor here, and if I turn it sideways, it's like, oh, that doesn't look right at all. If you're off to the side or something like that, so you definitely want to. I prefer the flat screen. A place that Chiz and I rented one time in Colorado had a curved like 65-inch. And as long as you sat right in front of it, it was excellent. But if you sat over in like the love seat or the chair off to the side, it was like, shit, this isn't ideal. I don't like this at all. You can totally see the.
When I have company over, I don't want to have to like race to a specific seat. Be like, oh, call right here. It's the only spot in the house somewhere. It doesn't look fun.
You have a 72-inch TV, right?
Yeah.
So when you see like a 55 in someone's house, you just like, why am I even wasting my time, right?
Yeah.
They don't prioritize television the way I do.
That's absolutely true. And I like that every time someone comes over to my house and they see it, they're like, what the fuck? Wow, what the hell is that? Like the guys were moving it the other day, and they're like, what do you got, dead hooker in here? Yeah. This thing's like 140 pounds. I'm like, yeah, oh yeah. Like, how did you even get it in here? It's like, I had to get help. Yes. There's no way to like that's the other thing about a big TV like that. Like if you've got a 55-inch or maybe even a 65-inch, I don't know, like one man can handle this thing. But my TV, it's impossible for one human being to do it. It's just it's so unwieldy. Awkward. It's too unwieldy, and it's quite heavy. It's literally 125, 130 pounds or something like that.
This is going to be the first TV that's so cumbersome that I'm not able to move it myself.
Yeah.
Which it feels like a step up in life, you know?
You've arrived now. Yeah.
I've arrived. I'm to the point of conscripting friends to get a nice, and of course I also get like the nice little satisfaction. Of course, like I know where all my friends live. I go to their houses or their apartments or condos, whatever. This is going to be bar none the nicest fucking TV of anyone.
In your circle.
So when there's, where are we watching football? Fucking Taylor's house. Where are we doing this? Well, if it has anything to do with viewing, we'll do it at Taylor's. Like I already have a nice sound bar and surround sound system. It's going to be very neat.
We've had people come to my house because they're like, "This Game of Thrones is going to be a big one. Let's see it at Woody's house." Because I don't have a big TV, but I have a projector.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So and even as cool as
even better.
Yeah, I think it's 109 inches, but the audio in that room is really well done. So
God, that's just bananas. 109-inch.
So
do you ever go watch a news station in there? So it's just like Jake Tapper, like, and in other news today. Like,
it gets wasted.
So
Loud. You know, like when I'm like, let's put on Lord of the Rings, let's put on Game of Thrones, like something that rocks, something that involves cannons and ships, or like that's what I like to watch on that screen. My wife, Star Trek. Old Star Trek in 4x3. I was like, what are we even doing here?
I thought you were going to say like Cake Boss or something
like that. Oh, yes. Yeah, my son loves all the cake shows. Yeah, it's I don't know.
Yeah, you want to use it for like, people overuse the word epic but you want to use it for things that are literally epic,
Yes.
like Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones or
Maybe
Gladiator. Exactly what I was thinking. That's a movie I haven't seen in a while. Saving Private Ryan. Oh, The Patriot.
Oh yeah,
good on
The
that.
Patriot's good. The Patriot has really good surround sound when the cannonballs are going by and stuff. Yeah, I was thinking of both of those. Gladiator's an excellent fucking movie. I don't know why I got fuzzy there for a second.
It is.
Yeah, there we go.
Like, you go back and watch almost any Mel Gibson movie like that he was in charge of like that, you understand why Hollywood was like, honestly, a lot of us are Jewish, and he said he doesn't care for us, but goddamn, he knows how to make some money with these films.
Yeah, he didn't do Gladiator, but he did do Patriot.
Yeah, he did The Patriot.
I love that scene in Patriot where they kill his son right there, and then him and his remaining two sons, who are like, I don't know, 13 and 15 or something, go to rescue the older son, and they're like hiding in those trees, and they ambush the British. I love that fucking scene. It's so good.
Is that towards the end?
Very beginning, pretty much. I mean, well, it's a very long movie, so when I say very beginning, I mean like 30 minutes in. It's
pretty much.
Yeah, they've taken Tristan, I believe, who was who's the actor? It was the guy who played the Joker.
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger. Yeah, they got him all tied up, and they've got like, I don't know, a dozen redcoats, maybe 15 or so, and they're like going along down, and they ambush them from a high position, and he's just like behind that tree with his musket. Lord, make me fast and accurate. He fucking turns around, and like kills the main one, and then the kids are shooting too. And every time the British try to turn their guns on the kids, Mel Gibson like jumps out and he goes, ah! It's like
with an axe in his hand. Yeah.
Yeah. And then of course finally he comes down, and it's fucking the blade in one hand and the tomahawk in the other. And he fucking throws the tomahawk, kills the guy who's holding Tristan hostage, and then there's just one left, and he's like, I give up. And he's like, no. He like pulls the tomahawk out of that guy's head and like runs the guy down and chops him into pulp.
In the middle of that riverbed. I remember because we watched that movie like sophomore year of high school or something in like a history class, and like up until then it's not that really ridiculous of a movie as far as violence, but I remember sitting there in class with my teacher over there, like, on his PC or whatever, and Mel Gibson's just murdering this redcoat, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm learning from any of this. I don't think any of this has been historical.
No, none of it is. There was no Fort Wilderness, like.
No,
you know what was great? So my friend's mom so I'm like a senior in high school, and she treated us like we were kindergartners, which was actually kind of welcome. She called us her sweet dumplings. She fed us all the time. She literally referred to her son, who we called Jaws, her beautiful baby boy, all the way through high school. She was just the most, like,
very
infantizing. You guys know that. Infantilizing is what I'm searching for. And then, I don't know, it was nice. Anyway, I had seen Dances with Wolves, and she hadn't. And I was like, dude, it's great. And we were going to watch it with my buddy's mom, because everyone loved Dances with Wolves. It's not until you see it with someone like that that you realize how filthy that movie is, right? She's just aghast at the gore. And I think there's sex in it. And, the violence ramps up. And it's like, oh, my God. I had a similar experience. Like, we got a Rock Band, right? Rock Band, the game. And, the PKA Dan was staying with us and whatever. And I thought it was fun, Rock Band. Like, I played it before. It was no big deal. It's not until you hear your, 11-year-old daughter singing about her sticky sweet thighs that you realize how dirty all these songs are. It's like,
That's
oh, my
really
God.
I never thought about that.
Yeah.
There was nothing more uncomfortable than, accidentally recommending a movie or something or a TV show at a friend's house when, the parents were present. So, when I was, I guess, 16, when Borat came out, I saw that in theaters with my dad, and we both laughed our asses off, thought it was hilarious. And, of course, I went to a religious school, and so there were, some of my friends' parents were really religious. And so I went over to my buddy's house 6-7 months later, whenever it came out on DVD, and I was like, oh, you know what we should go to Blockbuster and rent? Borat. and they were like, and his parents were like, I don't know, I heard that was risky. I'm like, oh, my dad took me to see it. We were laughing the whole time. And he's like, all right, well, Taylor, Elliot, go get it and bring it back, and we'll all watch it. And so he went. Had to actually bring one of his parents because he had to be 18 to rent it. They got it, and we came back and we watched it, and it was like so soon, like the high of like showing someone something funny had like kept me going, where I was like, they're gonna love it, everybody's gonna get such a hoot, and then like it started, and like he's like, as soon as he said like, my sister is a prostitute or whatever, I started remembering. As soon as like I saw that, it like triggered in my head, and I'm like, oh no! And like the scene of that fat guy and him running naked through the hotel, and I'm like, oh shit! I'm gonna have to tactically plan like 6 different bathroom breaks throughout this movie because this is gonna be so uncomfortable, and it literally was. Yeah. It was so fucking uncomfortable. Like maybe 40 minutes in, my friend's mom just got up and left, and a little bit later. His dad got up and left, and like in a semi-joking but not really joking way was like, last time we take a recommendation from you, Taylor, and like went upstairs, and after that that wasn't even a big deal. It was a fucking movie, but his parents apparently thought it was a bad influence.
We probably were though.
So
not just because of the movie, but outside the movie, were you not a bad influence on this guy?
Probably.
Not, I mean, mayhaps.
Yeah. I remember like I was watching Pulp Fiction at my parents' house when I was like maybe 16 or 17, and my mom had never seen it before, and she has to walk in right as they're having the conversation where he's like, hey, eating a bitch's pussy and rubbing her feet are 2 completely fucking different things. He's like, I don't know, but they're in the same ballpark. No, sticking your tongue in the holiest of holes. and I'm just, she's
what
like,
movie is this? I remember all this.
Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction.
Okay, yeah.
She's like, what are you watching? And I'm, what? It gets better. They're about to blow a guy away over some burgers, over some breakfast burgers. This is some good shit. Like, just stick with it here for a second. I'm out of here. She was like not into that at all. Dances with Wolves. You mentioned that. I can't rewatch that. It's so goddamn sad. When they kill his wolf, when they kill his wolf, I cried and cried. The wolf like literally gives his life to save him. Oh, it's so sad. I can't rewatch Dances with Wolves.
I've never seen that movie.
It's been a
I probably
long
should.
time. Oh, the wolf dies.
Classic.
Well, the wolf dies at some point.
It came out in the 90s, so it's okay.
Dude, it would have died by now anyway. It's an excellent fucking movie. It really is. So let me just give you like the cliff notes, like of how things get started. Kevin Costner is a Civil War soldier who's been wounded in the leg. And he's in like this Civil War like field hospital, and the doctor's like, he's like, I'm gonna have to saw that leg off, but I gotta go get a drink. I've sawed off so many legs that I'm tuckered. I'll be right back with you. And Kevin Costner's sitting there on the bed, and he looks over at a pile of legs that have already been cut off, and then he looks over at a soldier like walking along on crutches without a leg, and he's like, no. And so he incredibly painfully pulls his rubber boot back over his wounded foot, mounts a horse, and the situation of the battle is that the North and South are at like a
stalemate.
A stalemate. Thank you. Nobody's moving. They're both behind these rows of fences, and they're just kind of shooting back and forth. And all of a sudden, you see Costner in the center of all of them, riding the horse, and he just puts his hands back. You know, like straight back in the air, like riding the horse, like kill me. And like the Southerners start shooting at him, but then they just stop. You know, they're so like taken aback by this guy that they're just like, look at him. He's got no fear. And then like this rallies all the Northerners up, and they all like, let's go help him. And they all charge the Southerners, who many of them have unloaded their guns and haven't bothered to reload because they're taken aback by Costner, and it wins the battle. And so the general comes over, and he's like, that's the bravest or the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm going to get my doctor to look at you, saves the foot, and he's like, I'll station you anywhere you want to go. What would you like to do? And so he chooses to go out west to some outpost, like away from the war. And he gets out there, and he ends up like dealing with Indians and stuff, and he makes friends with the Indians. And it's an epic movie. It's like 3 hours plus.
He practically becomes an Indian.
he practically becomes an Indian. Like he wins their trust over. It's very good. There's a couple of sad scenes. It's very well acted all the way through. There's a lot of heartbreak, like that. I always feel bad when they're killing that one guy, and he's like, "Don't kill my mule, don't hurt my mule." And he's fucking.
Isn't this the same movie that like has the same plot as Avatar and the Smurfs?
A little bit, yeah.
No, but this was before all those.
I don't see the Avatar link.
Where you infiltrate a group like the Indians, and then you're known, you become trusted by them.
Fern Gully.
You have to
see it now. Yeah, but I feel like that's kind of a common story, right? That's the plot of Woodycraft factions, Pretend to be your friend for 6 weeks. You let me in your place, and I steal all your shit.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm glad. I've been watching this guy's videos. They're a couple years old now. His YouTube is Daniel from SL or Daniel SL, like the letters SL or something like that, and he plays Rust. And I'd never seen anything about Rust. He fucks with people. He is the biggest troll of all time. He pretends like he's their friend, and then he just completely ruins their gaming experience. It's so funny. Like, this guy's like, "Hey, I'm going to log out. I'll be right back. I'm Farmer John, by the way." And he's like, "Oh, cool. Are you friendly?" "Yeah, I'm friendly." "Yeah, me too." And so the guy logs out, and he sees where the guy logged out from. So when the guy logs back in, he will appear at this position. He knows where he's going to be. So he puts bear traps in that position, and he waits. And when the guy logs back in, he's like, "What the hell? What's happened to me? My legs are broken. You did this to me, didn't you?" And he's like, "No, I didn't. Some other guy knocked me out." And then he put those bear traps in there. He's like, "No, you did this. You did this to me. And now I'm locked in this room with my legs broken. I can't even, how am I going to do?" He's trolling. He's like, "You want some rice?" He's like, and the guy gives the guy a bag of rice. And the guy's like, "No, I don't want your rice. My legs are broken, you twat." And like some other random guy walks along, and he's like, "What happened here?" And the guy's like, "This guy here, he trapped me and he broke my legs. He's evil." And Daniel's like, "No, that's not true. This guy's the bad guy. He attacked me and I broke his legs, and now he's lying." And the guy's like, "I don't know. This Daniel guy seems to be making a lot of sense. I think I believe him." And the other guy's, "Oh, you fucking idiot. You fucking idiot. He's going to kill you in some horrible, sadistic way. You just wait. You just wait." And he's like crawling. He's crawling toward a cliff. And just before he rolls off the cliff and commits suicide, because that's all he can do, he's just like, "He's going to get you, you fucking dummy. He's going to get you. You wait."
You wait.
He fucking rolls over and goes, "Ah," and dies.
Oh, that's great.
He befriends this one guy, and like the guy thinks that they're like buddies, and they're like hiding in a house, and Daniel's like shooting his gun off. He's just randomly in the corner, and the guy's like, "Hey, do you hear those shots? Was that you?" He's like, "No, it wasn't me." "Oh shit, we're pinned." And like it's Daniel's house, so he has control over the locks. So he's just like pulls up a menu and he's like, lock. "Oh, they've locked us in. It's a hacker." He's like stabbing the walls. He's like, "Oh, did you hit that wall?" "No, it wasn't me." He's like running around in the other room. "Oh, they're outside. They're outside the walls. Oh, it's definitely a hacker." And it comes up on the screen, "This is day 1." And like day 2 comes around, and they're like traveling together, and he's like, "You have any water?" And he's like, yeah, here's some water. And he's put bleach in the water, of course. And the guy's like, "Oh, I have a funny taste in my mouth now, and everything's blurry." I guess it says that on his screen. He's like, "Did you find this water?" He's like, Yeah, I found it." He's like, "Oh no, I've been poisoned. I got to make myself throw up." And he's like, like vomiting.
Oh, this is a game mechanic in Rust?
Yes.
This is a really funny game.
Yes.
It's just called Rust.
Rust. Yeah, it's if you want to see like I haven't even described it yet, but the really funny one, just search the Rust experience, and it's from Daniel. It's either Daniel SL or Daniel from SL. I'm not sure, but it's the Rust experience. It's fucking hilarious because he's trolling this guy so hard. The guy like gives him a bow in it. He's pretending he's brand new to the game, right? And this is a game where like new players are at a massive disadvantage with loot and knowledge and stuff, because it's not the kind of game that takes you step by step and holds your hand. It's like, what am I even doing? You literally spawn in naked, like your dick's hanging out. You're just out in this wilderness, and there are guys with guns in some cases and like armor and shit. And he befriends this guy saying he's a new player, and the guy's like, "Yeah, here's a bow and arrow." and he's pretending like he doesn't know how to use it, and he's just drawing it and letting it down over and over. He's like, no, you hold right mouse, hold right mouse. How do I know if I have the right mouse? He's like, no, right mouse, click. And he's just like failing at it repeatedly over and over and over and over. And the guy's just like losing his mind. He's like, do you have a mouse? He's like, dude, this is a $45 mouse. This is no joke. He trolls them.
Not even a lot for gaming mouse.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like bottom tier mouse.
Well, they go like 130. Yeah.
Oh, even crazy. Yeah. It's absurd. He's very funny. He's only got maybe 8 videos. I watched them all though in succession, and they're very, very funny. The way he trolls these people in Rust, it made me want to play Rust. I'm probably not gonna, but
that is, dude. The videos I like, I don't think anyone else likes. Like, there's a guy, Rainfall Projects, right? He's outstanding. If you were to watch his videos, you'd be like, I wish this guy was my friend. He's so cool and handy and whatever. And like, I'm sitting here thinking, like, I wish I had a broken irrigation buggy. I'd love a project like that. And what's funny is,
are there like 7 views?
no, he does better. He has 22,000 subs, but his videos get like triple that in views. Like, he's pretty good. And I had a friend who literally said that. Like, he's like, I watch him too. I wish I had a broken irrigation buggy. Yeah.
I like the blacksmithing channels a lot. I watch a lot of those. I really enjoy watching
projects.
Them. Yeah, I kind of want to do one of them. I wish I had someone to hold my hand and walk me through it, like the tempering and the hammering and the forging and all that. Because they make these knives, these blades and weapons out of all kinds of interesting things. I saw a guy take a wrench, just a large, like 3/4 inch wrench, and he kept the back end, the circular part. I don't know what you call that. The closed end of the wrench. He kept that there so he could hang this thing up. But then he took the part that's like a Y or whatever, and he like bent it out into a tomahawk. And he's like, wow, this is a really, it was a Craftsman wrench, so it's good steel. And now that it's hammered out, it's like, it's never going to break. It's really cool to see them make that stuff. I've seen them take cable, like a strand of like 1 inch or 1.5 inch cable. And because it's twisted, as cable is with all the smaller wires in there, when you hammer it out, you can see that detail in the blade when they etch it. So that's really cool. I enjoy those, and sometimes the videos are half an hour long of them hammering and hammering and hammering and hammering. And I like seeing the guys some of the guys are old school, right? They're literally using a hammer and an anvil. And some of them have the auto hammer that's just, you kind of feed your blade into a machine.
Auto hammer's old school, right? It's like, hey, I happened upon this auto hammering machine. It weighs 13 tons. It came with a forklift, and it's really hard to get in here. We laid new concrete on the floor so it would have a place to sit. Like, it's a big thing to get one of these machines.
Yeah, man. I enjoy those because you get a finished product that looks like, I don't know, it's like a $300 or $400 knife that they often make out of just what many of them will do. They'll be like, I found this on the side of the road. I found this piece of steel on the side of the road, or like this piece of steel has been laying in my field for.
What is the thing that holds a railroad tie down? The railroad
spike.
Yeah.
Yes.
They'd be like, can you believe there was a perfectly good railroad spike on the side of the road? I'm gonna make a knife out of it, and then it just begins, and they do.
I've made knives out of those before, but
videos like that, and I enjoy the fantasy of pretending like one day I'll learn how to do that, where some guy's like, oh yeah, this is, type 68 steel, which means I can temper it at XY flame. I'll take it right back to my forgery. I actually pre-carved the handle for this, wouldn't you know it? And it's like, God damn it, like, how are you this prepared and what is ostensibly a hobby? You just find this and you're hammering it out. Like, it's like a more advanced but equally satisfying version of primitive technology, or not quite as satisfying as primitive technologies, because that guy, like he builds a forge to build his shit that he uses to collect things to build what he's actually trying to build. In the video, like it's, it's out of control.
Do you still watch Primitive Technology?
Oh yeah, every time one comes out, I watch.
He moved. I was like, no way. You have like 1,000 man hours into that hut and the nearby forge, and you have a hammer. He has an auto hammer. As the water goes by, the hammer starts hammering, and I'm like, oh my god, you just left all that behind, but he did.
Yeah, someone will discover that, and they'll be like, "What the fuck?"
My theory is
Yes.
that's what happened.
What the-
My theory is someone discovered his old location and he moved to get private again.
Oh, I was thinking that someone like now that he's like maybe he sold the property and someone discovers that and they're like, 911. Yes, I believe there are some Aboriginal people living in my property. You got to see this shit. You got to see this shit. I'm worried they're gonna come scalp me.
I didn't know they were this advanced. Yeah.
Man, speaking of Aboriginal people, I play PUBG with like a really diverse group of people. I mean, they're all white.
Oh yeah, no. I mean,
But-
well,
but-
wait. You do play
That
with
doesn't mean they're
Chiz.
not diverse.
Chiz is
But
some
they're
sort of
from-
dirty ethnic. I don't know what, but
Yeah, he's Spanish.
A lot of
Spanish.
diversity among white folks.
It's true. It's not true. I play with some, Big Mex. He's Mexican and everything, but no blacks. No, there's a black guy. There's a black guy I play with, but I that's not true. And
yeah,
so
it's like he won't name him. He was not
true.
going to name him.
Just
yeah, Big Black. He's
Yeah. Ted the black guy, we call him. Yeah. Hey, get over here, Blackie. Yeah.
Big Mex's avatar, his character was a black man, and we literally made him change it. We were like, "Come on, we're all blonde girls. Like this is not a porno we're shooting here. We're like you gotta become either a redheaded girl or blonde girl with a ponytail. It's one or the other. That's what we do here. Like we're all cute chicks. We're pretending like we're some sort of girl squad, so you got to get on board with that. But no, I was talking to the guy from Australia last night. He was a really cool guy. Just Rohan. I've said his name. Now I can't talk about the racist things he said. Damn it.
That's okay. Nobody knows who Rogaine is.
Okay. So he was talking about the Aboriginal people in Australia. I was suggesting to him that he watch Quigley Down Under because it's based in his country, and he mentioned he liked America and Western movies and stuff. I was like, man, there's a Western movie made about Australia, and the Aboriginals are kind of key in that movie. And it's got the guy who played Snape in Harry Potter. I like that guy. I can't think of his name right now, but he's like, those people, if you can call them that, they're not really people. I mean, do you ever look at them? They're so
that.
Yeah, he's like they're so black. He's like they look like cave people. They look like Neanderthals or something. It's like they haven't evolved over the last 50,000 years. He's like, you know what they do? They come into town and they steal gasoline. And if they can't steal it from the gas station, they siphon it out of your car. I was like, what are they doing with it? He's like, they're huffing it. They're huffing it to get high. It's like they steal your gasoline and they huff it. They're all criminals and sneaks, and they're not even real people. They didn't used to be real people under the law, but the liberals came in. And,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I was just like, Jesus Christ, this guy.
So
You mentioned the
they
Avatar.
steal gasoline just to huff it? What a waste.
On WoodyCraft, there was a group of people, we had these forums, and the forums were really active because it was like half the game is social, right? That was like a big part of what was going on. A lot of people changed their avatars to black people, and black people wearing crowns or big thick necklaces, and I'm really stuck because I'm like, what level of censorship do I want to enforce? Am I racist for making them for not allowing black avatars, or are they racist for using black avatars?
It's not, in my opinion, it's not your responsibility to govern that.
That's what I ended up
Theirs,
doing nothing.
Yeah, to do it however you want. Because you know what happens if you say, hey, I don't like when you put a crown on and have big gaudy chains or whatever and make your avatar a black cube. Like, then everybody's going to want to do that and nothing about that. Or they'll go, actually, hey, fuck you.
Yeah,
Like,
you're probably right.
Just find another way.
But also you try to make it a place where people don't feel. If you were to walk into a place and everyone was racist, dropping N-bombs and wearing crowns and thick, it felt like they were mocking a culture.
Yeah,
and
that's not cool.
Yeah, well, they were probably.
But
So speaking of mocking a culture,
go on.
Have you been on VR chat? I know you haven't. Have you watched any videos of VR chat? Of course you haven't. Let's watch one real quick, and I'll show you how absurd VR chat is. Right now.
What is VR chat?
VR chat is where you get in. You put your Vive on. You go into this open world kind of thing.
You don't know.
And everybody's kind of
sorry.
walking around, and this is what's happening over there apparently. This is what people are up to over in VR chat.
You don't know.
All right, I'm queued up at 0 whenever you guys are ready.
Same.
3,
There's
2,
5 million.
1, play.
You don't know the way.
Yes, I do.
Do you know the way?
I know the way.
You have to have Ebola to know the way.
I have Ebola.
It doesn't know the way.
To know the way,
To know the
you
way,
need to
you
have
to know the
Ebola.
way. This is my new habitat.
This is very good habitat.
This is my new. This is my new.
This is my new home.
We
need
cannot
to
escape
drink
the
to
devil.
What is happening here?
I don't understand.
These guys are pretending like they are Africans with Ebola who know the way,
The way of the red Ebola.
and they're chasing this girl around.
Protected by the devil's power.
And they're all the little Sonic the Hedgehog avatars.
We need to invade a new country.
Why does this look so shit?
The child blood.
Action is coming! Action is coming!
We must drink the child blood. We must collect souls.
I don't understand this generation.
I don't understand. Welcome to old age, Taylor. First you telling your stories about Blockbuster, and now you don't understand the kids' videos.
I will teach you the way.
Fuck you!
Do you know the way?
You do not know the way.
Fuck you!
Why is
Taylor,
that guy a can of beans?
yeah. Do you know the way? Do you know the way? You need Ebola to know the way. I'm
This looks like an immense place.
How are they choosing the stupidest avatars?
They go up to the girl and they go,
Yeah, well,
They're trying to look up skirts.
and they're accumulating more and more followers, I guess.
I would
right?
say if I was in this game, I would instantly become a hedgehog and start working on my African accent.
they're smelling her crotch.
And you know what? That's probably a dude.
This is awful.
What? How does this have 5.4 million views? And it has
Clearly.
212,000 likes and only 1,000 dislikes? That should be inverted.
They're just clicking their tongues for the last 2 minutes. And some of this audio is abusive.
Yeah.
I am at this point just about determined, like from a discipline motivation standpoint, to endure to the end of the video.
Yeah, I need to.
I guarantee you the
Nothing's
ending
gonna
will suck. There's not going to be a crescendo. I don't think they put together a 3-part like introduction, body, and climax on this video.
They didn't tell us what they were going to say. Tell us, and then tell us what they told us. You know, with that instruction.
Like there's no intro, body,
It turns
outro.
out I do not know the way.
Do you know the way? You do not know the way.
He does not know the way.
They're not even creative.
Go outside! Steal outside!
Taylor, that's the perfect response.
Do you know the way? Get a girlfriend! Speak to someone! I would rather click at people on the internet. I would rather pretend to lick the pussy of a woman who is actually a man who is so sad he had to pretend in a game in order to get attention.
I like it.
I bet if you
I
broke
like
it
that a
down,
lot.
I bet there are more male players of video games with female avatars than there are female players with female avatars.
Probably
And I bet
so.
it's not even close.
But in this, like you can hear their voice, of course, and like there are plenty of like girls play that. Like there's lots of girls in there. To be fair, like actual girls. It's they were saying you do not know the way so loudly and frequently and clicking their tongues. I never heard the girl, quote unquote, say anything. But like there are definitely lots of females playing VR chat.
What do you get so you've clearly done VR chat. What do you do?
You just socialize, man. You know, you go around, talk to people, meet people. You're walking around in this little world.
What's your avatar?
Whatever you want it to be.
No, what's your avatar?
I don't play the game. I don't play that game. No.
I mean, are there points
It's bizarre.
that you can get? Is there a score?
I don't think so. No,
Then it's not a
It's
game.
It's a social
like
experience.
Tinder, but you don't meet anyone.
Oh, it's like Tinder, but you get clicked at by fake Africans, and there is a 0% chance of getting laid.
Oh, it's above 0, not far above, but
Okay, 0.5%.
yeah, and you know, there's a 10% chance that the guy will be a cop.
Yeah. Yeah. This. I'm gonna wait for VR to get another generation or two down the road, and then I'll take another peek at it. Because if this is what people are doing, if they're going around in what appear to be MS Paint renditions of Sonic, like, and a can of beans, where the label isn't even correctly sized on the beans, it says like the bottom half of bushes. You know, like it's this is so stupid.
Yeah, the new generation's coming. The new I think Vive's releasing a new one pretty soon. Maybe better resolution and a wireless feature. So
Do you think
it's
it? What's the good one? Vive, right?
Yeah.
And they're releasing a new one.
Yeah.
Now, did I hear Oculus released a new one? Am I crazy?
I don't really follow it that closely, to be honest. I don't know.
Facebook owns it, right?
I think so.
You know they're wasting it.
Maybe. We talked about this before, but like the real issue is like the number of headsets out there. It's when you compare like the cost of making a AAA PC game to all of the customers that are available. Your customer base is massive. It's X million of people, but with the Vive, it's like whatever 600,000 people, 1 million people maybe now. I really don't know. But like even if you sold a copy of your game to every one of those people, you don't get to the budget of a game like GTA, which was like $250 million, right? So
Yeah.
you got to have Valve, really funding the thing, hoping that it's going to be big in the future. They got to get the cost of the headsets down. It's a peripheral that's $600.
And that's only half of it, right? Because you need like a 1080.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a peripheral that's $600. You gotta. It's expensive, and you definitely need a 1080 to like run most of this stuff.
Doesn't it seem like the 1180 should be out soon? Am I crazy?
Well, the 1080 Ti is so fucking expensive. Like I'm looking at building Kitty a PC right now, and I was considering maybe like giving her my PC and building myself like a 1080 Ti setup with like a i7 8700K. And
Wait,
I was
you're
even
going
looking
to give her the one that you just completed?
maybe
In the last
It's like
year?
a year ago, though, right?
yeah, like a year ago.
Seems
And
like you just-
I was looking at the i9 processors, and that seems kind of unnecessary unless you want to do streaming on the same machine you're gaming on, I guess. But I think it's I don't want to get this wrong. 18 fucking core. Third.
Is that right? I mean, I need a lot. Like maybe that makes sense. But the one thing I do every once in a blue moon: record, stream, and watch videos at the same time, which apparently ruins everything on this machine.
That fucking i9 processor is pretty.
You just
absurd.
got quiet. Did he get quiet to you too?
Yeah, you got quiet to me.
Oh.
Too quiet.
Do you know the way to turn your volume up? That's funnier than that whole fucking video.
Do you know the way?
Now you look like you're gonna be like,
Yeah.
Well, I don't necessarily regret the crime, but if I were to do it again, I'd do it differently.
They would tell me that they were going to show me the way of the Lord.
yeah.
And then he pulled his penis out.
Why is your camera not focused?
By that point, I was sold.
Try to like fix it better.
yeah.
Like better or
Yeah,
faster.
okay. Now it's all right. Have you tried being more competent?
I can't see what's happening.
I would love it if that worked. But it's actually he's a little censored, really.
Yeah, that's weird. Well, you're not quiet to me anymore.
At first, there was only one priest, but later on, more joined.
Dude, did you see a priest just came out? And
A priest? Like
pastor?
as a pedophile?
I was on Fox News, actually. And, shucks, I'm looking for
He's
it.
a pedophile.
Memphis pastor gets standing ovation after acknowledging sexual incident with teen. And I'm not sure if this person is tied in with like a nut like Weinstein or something like that. But anyway, he said he was going to drive her home. Instead of driving her home, he drove her to like an isolated dirt road and told her to suck his dick and take her shirt off. And,
What?
Yeah.
When was this?
1998.
Oh, so he waited,
Well,
20 years just to be sure.
She wrote him a letter and said, like, hey, do you remember that time you said you were you were my pastor and you were going to take me home? and instead you drove me to a deserted area and made me suck your dick and take my top off. And it appears he does remember because he told the story to his congregation and they gave him a standing ovation.
Did he tell it
Get
in that
after it!
way?
Well, I thought, he
How old
admitted
was
to
this
having a
gal? How
sexual.
old was
She was 17. He admitted to having a sexual incident with a female high school senior in the church, and he
What
took every
state is
step
that?
to respond in a biblical way. Tennessee.
Man, well, maybe he like bamboozled them with like when you really get your crowd hyped up. It's like, who loves the Lord? Oh yeah. Who's gonna do what they can this week to show the Lord that you're working for him? You're putting feelings out there. You are the salt of the earth. Like that kind of shit. Like, yeah, who forgives me for making that little girl suck my dick in 1998? Let me hear. Yeah. It's like, all right, no, take she's back. She's, on that, you forgive me. But yeah, that's what a fucking creep.
Oh, okay.
They
So
should
what happened was
probably not
I
take,
said she was tied in with Weinstein or something. I was wrong. She heard about the Matt Lauer thing and thought, I guess, me too. And she wrote a letter to this guy and said, do you remember the night you were supposed to drive me home from church? And instead you drove me to a deserted back road and sexually assaulted me. And he begged her to keep it a secret, and she didn't. And now he's admitted that it's true.
Did she ever get home? Clearly.
Yeah, right. She didn't mention that. I bet he did drive her home as well, and she was ungrateful.
Uh-huh.
Get out of my car, you cum slut. You can jog it up the rest of the way.
Dude, there was a girl in my high school. I won't say her name, but she was regarded as what they called a total hose monster, right? And yeah,
A hose monster. That's
a
not
hose
even
monster. Yeah,
way to say it.
that was her reputation, that she was a total hose monster. And she needed a ride home, and it was like a 20-minute drive or something. Like, it wasn't a real trivial thing. But I was like, man, apparently this girl sucks dick all the time, so I'll give it a go. No dick sucking happened whatsoever. I don't know what young Woody was thinking. Like just out of a sense of appreciation, she would start blowing me.
Oh,
no,
thanks for giving
you got to
me a
pull it
ride.
out.
Well, I didn't know. I didn't know, and I just.
You ever seen pubes like this? That's right.
Have you ever seen pube like this? Yeah.
A little on each side.
Why don't you get a closer look? You feel a little tired? Maybe you put your head in my lap.
Yeah, I drove her home hoping she would just spontaneously come up with the idea, like, well, I don't have gas money, so I guess I should suck you off. And that didn't come up.
It is very rare that the just take your dick out strategy pans out. But it's not a 0% success rate, so it's still viable.
Thank you. Thank you.
Because a lot of girls read between the lines and they go, "Oh, it's probably not sweaty and needs to air out. He probably wants it sucked."
Yep.
Clearly.
Yeah, and apparently this pastor knew that rule and took advantage of it, and now incorporating it into the Beatitudes or whatever the fuck he's talking about in his Sunday sermon. They should probably bring up the assistant pastor and get him out of there, right?
I wonder what the gap is, like, in terms of, like, sexual activity between a girl who's regarded as a total hose monster and another girl who maybe just sucks as much dick, but apparently not assholes' dicks.
It depends on the situation, right? Because I remember there was a girl in school, and she had fucked a bunch of guys at once, right? So, like, hose monster. And there was another girl who, she invited some guys to her house, and they were like, all right, well, we're gonna go. And she was like, oh, and she just took her top off, what
a cool girl.
Right.
Well, she sounds
good
great.
girl. Yeah. See, it depends, especially in like a high school level. It's not even, 100% the actual sexual activity that's going on. It's what the girls decide they're going to do to turn one of the girls into a whore. Because most high school people have had sexual experiences, and the big group of girls that hang out together that are the popular, the prettier ones, they can turn on any one of them and be like, Samantha is a whore. Like, she actually is. Let's spread that around a bit. And then before you know it, even if Samantha's sucked less dick than, Susan
Monica,
or whatever over there,
right.
or Monica, like, she's the, quote, whore. And it's just an accepted thing, Like, the way I was gonna use a really bad example because I'm like, yeah, like the way you knew some kids in high school were gay, even though they never said that you were gay, so everybody called them gay, and then it turns out they're gay. Like, so that example doesn't work. But yeah, I bet the difference in dick isn't as much as you think. Yeah. The
I also
difference in the amount
wondered-
of dick they're taking.
There were a couple guys in my high school that seemed gay, right? They were just really effeminate, and I never found out if they were actually gay. But I'm curious again.
I find out every so often,
I
like,
never
little things
saw
about
him actually suck a dick.
But at the talent
what
show,
do you mean?
he's saying, "Why must I be a teenager in love?" It was so gay.
He's singing. He did do that.
in a sequin skirt.
Yeah, he was twirling a baton singing "It's Raining Men," but I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I remember he sang that. He wasn't in my year, and it was like, wow. Two things to note here. One, he's really good. Two, this is super gay.
Yeah, there were two people I suspected of being gay in high school because, like, I've described our shower situation multiple times, and nobody ever got an erection in the shower with a bunch of other men. You're in there to clean. Like, even at the age when it's like all it took was a little like puff of air to get you going. Like, nothing ever happened except for these two guys who consistently every time they would come into the bathroom or into the shower, like, you'd see them walking around and you'd see they just had, their high school boners right there, just raging and ready to go. And they'd stand there and shower as though they didn't. And they were both already, like, slightly odd guys.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, they wouldn't be because usually, like, you're talking to your friends in the shower and everything, they'd just do it quietly and, like, be on their own. But it was like, God, that is so weird. Like, you'd think, like, get a boner once in the shower, okay, you had an odd morning or something. I don't know what's going on with you, but no judgment. If every fucking time you get in the shower with a bunch of other of your classmates who are male, you are probably gay. And the boner didn't end in the shower. Like, he'd, like, walk out, and you'd be, like, near your locker, and you're like, oh, boner Robbie's coming through, all right. Like,
hang a towel on it.
Yeah, hang a towel. It was like, God, that...
Have I told you I told the story on the show of my friend who I thought was gay?
Yes.
Oh, yes, and he's not gay.
The story is great, yeah.
And you asked him
I guess I told
if
it.
he was gay.
Yeah, dude, I thought you were gay. Yeah.
Like, why would you think I was gay?
Yeah, Mark is great, but not gay.
Did you guys have any gay deniers in your high school? Where, like, everybody would kind of know they were gay, but they'd, like, have, like, pretend girlfriends and shit?
No.
I don't think so.
No? Nobody with a beard? There was this one kid a year or two, maybe just a year below me, I don't remember. But he was, like, one of the arguments that made it clear, because obviously I went to a religious school. They'd be like, gay is a sin. Like, I'm like, that guy's not sinning. That guy is as gay as the day is long. Nobody chooses to act in the way this limp-wristed, skipping fairy kind of guy does. Nobody acts like that. And he went through, like, multiple girlfriends. He only ever hung out with girls. And the relationships that they had, it wasn't like when you'd see in high school, like, on one of those couches in the common room, like a boyfriend with his arm around his girlfriend or something. It would be like him, like, sitting, like, legs together, like, prissy, like, shooting the shit, like, gossiping with his girlfriends. And then, like, when the other girls came around, like, bring them all over and they'd all gossip. And then a couple years ago, someone asked me, do you remember Richard from high school? I'm like, oh, yeah, the gay guy. And he goes, you know what? He is gay. He's gay now. And it's like, no, he's been gay the whole time. He's been gay the whole time.
I wonder what the girls think, though. They're like, yeah, Richard, he's not threatening and fun to hang out with, so why not date him? What are they thinking?
Maybe. I don't know. Like, I think part of it is that girls want to go out with, popular guys who have standing. And part of what makes a guy popular and have standing in high school is his perception among the girls in the grade, And so if you're a gay guy, all the girls love you, which in turn boosts your social value. And so one girl then is going to go, okay, I can't get one of the jock guys, but I can get this other socially valuable guy. Maybe that's kind of it. I don't know.
Wow, Taylor's really figured out the dating economy of high school.
the high school dating economy. Yeah.
Shocking.
Yep. Shocking indeed. Have you guys I've been super healthy eating recently in the last week or so, and I'm waiting for the feeling of health to kick in. Like I've been forcing myself to eat giant salads and like carrot sticks and broccoli, and I went to TGI fucking Fridays today with a couple of people from work for lunch, and I made myself get a turkey burger with no cheese and the side was broccoli. Because it was only like 680 calories and plenty of protein. And at the end of the meal, though, I was like, all right, I feel pretty good about myself. You know, like I don't feel guilty. I feel good. I feel like I didn't throw it. Because I could have had a double bacon cheeseburger with fries and eaten 1,600 calories that meal and not even felt like it and thrown the whole day away.
I've been looking into using catering services to deliver my food. You know, instead of just getting like one meal, like order for 20 people, right? like get enough for like several days. Last night I got I ordered from this barbecue place and I got the family meal. You know, it's 4 rolls, a pound of meat, 2 family size sides. I ordered an extra side. I didn't think 2 was going to be enough. And you know, Kitty ate some of it, but
probably about as much as a child, right?
Yeah, it's exactly. She used like the tiny plate, you know, the one that you could almost put a teacup on. Yeah. She's like, "This is my portion," and I've got like the biggest plate in the house, just covered with meats and sauces, and I got
what
potatoes.
Kind of barbecue?
I got pulled pork, smothered it in barbecue sauce, and then I got potato salad, baked potato casserole, and baked beans. And then I ate all 4 of the rolls because she didn't want them. I ate all 4 of them. And I ordered like a 32-ounce sweet tea, killed that, had a few orange sodas.
What's your weight at now?
I don't have a scale here, but my pants fit.
Well, that'll be a fun surprise for you when you buy one.
Yeah, right? I did put on my skinny pants today, and they were pretty tight, but my ass looked good in them, so I was like, oh.
What are your skinny pants? Like, what's the dimensions?
I think they're 30s. Yeah.
I haven't worn 30s since I was 13.
What size do you wear?
I wear 32 or 33. It depends. Like that kind of just depends on the make of the jean.
I wear 34, but they seem to be too big. But I don't want to buy 32 because I don't want the ego like hit if 34 fits better. I'd rather have 34s that are too big. That's where I am. I just went to this paramotor thing. So I saw a lot of people I hadn't seen in a while, and they're all praising me for how thin I am. Yet I know in my heart I'm a piece of shit who hasn't really lost any extra weight in the last like 6 or 8 weeks. And then the whole time I'm there, I'm pretty much surviving on restaurant food, so that comes with some guilt. Like it's hard to eat all restaurant food and really hit your like, you know, healthy goals. But I'm back and I'm eating well now, and you know, we'll get back on track.
Good.
I have. I went to the grocery store yesterday, and I got. This is what I'm eating tonight. I got crab cakes, salmon cakes, lobster macaroni and cheese, and deviled crabs. And I'm gonna eat all that.
Good.
Yeah. Tonight I'm gonna eat like all of that. Actually, I got 2 crab cakes, a salmon cake, my deviled crabs, and my lobster macaroni and cheese. I'm gonna eat that, and then I predict. I also have some sushi. I got a big platter of sushi from the grocery store because they like make sushi in the grocery store. So I've got like 2 sushi rolls and like 8 pieces of nigiri. I'm gonna get that down tonight.
Sounds really good.
It's gonna be great. I've been eating so much Indian food, like Indian food virtually every single day. I've been eating curry. I've been getting like lamb vindaloo or like chicken tikka masala.
Oh, I love that.
I really, really love it. I get a ton of naan bread with it, and I'm just dipping the naan bread in I get it really hot, and just tears are just pouring down my face, and I can feel it burning in my belly, but I just eat more and more and more.
God, your dinner sounds so much fucking better than mine. I'm going to make turkey bacon, maybe a couple eggs, an enormous salad of spinach with a little bit of light vinaigrette, and probably a sweet potato.
Apparently there's something called chicken salt. I bought it off Amazon. We're going to put that on the George Foreman chicken and go wild. See what's up with it.
See how it is. See, and after the meals, Woody and I will feel better.
I'm going to take a nap after my meal. I have to.
Yeah, it's mandated.
I'm going to hit the kettlebells because it's Wednesday and I haven't. But
yeah, every time I eat one of those big Indian platters, I have to take a nap. There's no staying awake after you eat that much chicken and lamb and potatoes and spicy rice. Oh, it's so goddamn good. My mouth's watering right now. As soon as we get done here, I'm going in there and eating something.
I am as well.
Well, I think we're done.
All right.
PKN 177.